Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Neetika and this is the Chic Artist Studio. Here we make watercolors feel less intimidating and more fun. So today is all about color theory. Before getting started, let me ask you a question. Have you ever mixed two colors and quite not gotten the color that you were looking for? Or have you ever wondered why some paintings look so balanced and harmonious? That's exactly what color theory helps with. In this video, I'll keep everything very simple, practical and beginner friendly so you can start mixing colors with more confidence. So grab your paints and let's dive in. Alright, let's talk supplies first. I am using my Artix paint palette and size 4 round brush. Honestly, you can use any brush today because we are not doing any drills, we are just painting. So no particular brush strokes needed. And then I have 2 jars of water for mixing my colors, and then a palette and this practice paper from Fabriano. Okay, so we will start with the foundations of color theory, that is the color wheel. So we'll be painting color wheel with our 3 primary colors. I'll be using cadmium red, cadmium yellow and ultramarine blue today. Okay, so for this color wheel we have to paint a circle. So I'm just using this bowl to lightly trace my circle here. All right. Now we have to divide this circle into 12 equal parts. So I am just eyeballing the center and then I'll divide it into quarters and then each quarter into 3 parts. So just eyeball it, like it doesn't have to be perfect. We are just learning to mix colors and create this color wheel. And then I am dividing these quarters into 3 parts each. So we'll have 12 parts in total, 12 sections to be precise, like this. Okay, so we'll be learning how to make secondary colors from primary colors and then we'll move to tertiary colors. So this will be my red and then 1, 2, 3. This will be my yellow and then 1, 2, 3. This will be my blue. All right, let's start painting. So I am using cadmium red here for my red. So this is my primary red today. You can use any red, and I like how my colors turn out when I use primary red, cadmium red. Fill the first section with cadmium red. Now leave 3 sections and then this one will be cadmium yellow. Okay, here. And these are our primary colors. So first is red, next is yellow, and the third one is blue. Okay, so we are using ultramarine blue here. Okay, primary colors done. Let's move to our secondary colors. So now we'll fill in these sections in the middle of the 2 primary colors. First we'll mix orange. Okay, so try mixing same equal amounts of red and yellow. I have cadmium red here. I will add some yellow to it here. Maybe some more yellow. Okay, this is our orange. Okay, so I'll place it directly like in the center in between these two. See, So red plus yellow is orange, right? So this is our orange, our first secondary color. Next will be yellow plus blue. So I have yellow here. I'll take some more of yellow. Okay. And then I'll mix my ultramarine blue here. And we will get this gorgeous green, which is our secondary color number 2. So we'll place it right between these two. This is our green. Okay. So I really like how the combination of these 3 colors. That's why I use these specific colors for painting my color wheel. But you can experiment and try using different greens, different reds, yellows and blues. So this is our secondary color, which is green. Next we are going to use red and blue. So I have this blue here. Let's take some more blue. Okay, so blue, and then I'll be mixing cadmium red in it. So this will give us a nice purple. I think I should add a little bit more of blue here. Bit more. So this is a nice purple. I am placing it right between red and blue. So we have our secondary colors. Now, okay, if you want, you can write the names. So this is my red, this is yellow, blue, orange, green, purple. Okay. Next we are going to mix our tertiary colors. So tertiary colors sit between a primary and a secondary color, and they are named after both of the colors that they are made of. So the color that sits between red and orange will be red orange. So primary color is placed first and then the secondary color. So it's red orange, not orange red. Okay. So how will we make this? So we have this orange. We'll mix a little bit of red in it. So it sits in between these two. So it's a mixture of these two colors. Okay. So it's basically like orange with more of red. Okay, so it will be darker than this orange but lighter than this red. So this is our tertiary color number 1, which is red orange, not orange red. Okay. So red, and this is red orange. Next will be the color that sits between orange and yellow, which will be yellow orange. So I will mix more of yellow in it. Okay. So this will be a more warmer orange. So this will be a warmer orange which sits between these two colors. Okay. So this is our yellow orange. Okay, next let's paint the greens. So we have the green that we had already used for this. Now, since it sits between yellow and green, it will have more of yellow. So add more yellow to this mix of green and we get our yellow green. This is very subtle, nice, warmer green. And I believe you know the name. It's yellow green. So yellow green. Okay, so next will be between green and blue. So this one will have a little bit more of blue. So this green will be slightly on the cooler side. I am mixing more blue, a little bit more. Okay, so this is a very, let me mix a little bit more of blue. Okay, this is a slightly cooler green. I think I have to mix a lot of blue here. Yeah. Okay, so this is our blue green. Okay, tertiary color, it sits between blue and green, hence blue green. So it's blue green. Okay, next let's come to this purple we created here. So we will be painting the one which has more blue. So it sits between blue and purple. So let's add more blue to this purple here. Start with more. Okay. This is a cooler purple. So it will be blue purple. So this is our blue purple. Next is red purple. So we will add lots of red to this, make it more reddish purple. Okay. So red purple. Okay, so we have three primary colors, red, yellow and blue. Then we have three secondary colors which are made by mixing those primary colors in equal amounts. So orange, green and purple. And then we have 8 tertiary colors which are named after the colors that they are mixed from. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple and red, purple. So that's how we paint a color wheel. It's not really difficult, but we should be able to know how to mix these colors and get the proper shades. Next is warm and cool colors. So if we go from this yellow green, so it is divide this color wheel into two parts. So one line will be yellow green and the other one will be, let's say, till red. Okay, so this part is the warm section and this one is the cool section. To all the colors that fall here on this section, like in this half, are warm colors. So these are warm colors and these are cool colors. If we draw a line like dividing it into two, so warm colors are all the combinations of red, yellow, orange, warmer colors, and then the cool colors are more of dark greens and blues and purple. So these are cool colors. Okay, next what I want to tell you is, okay, I'll just place this here. Okay, so next is hue. So hue is the perfect color or the pure color. So red, orange, all these are hues because these are pure colors. We don't have any whites or grays or blacks mixed here. So these are hues. And then we have tint. Tint is created by adding white to our hue. So if we have our, okay, let's come here to our cadmium red. Okay, this is our cadmium red, and if we add white to it here, this will be called the tint of this red color. So this is a tint. Okay, so we will use cadmium red for this example. So this is our hue. This is tint, which is like when white is added to the base hue, it's called a tint. And then we have tone. Tone is when we add gray to the color. So if we add gray to this, this is our tone, which is a subtler version, like more subtle version of the original red. Okay, and then we have shade, which is created by adding black to the base color. So if I add black to my red, get a little bit more red, I added much too black. Okay, this is the shade. Okay, so now we know hue, then tint, tone, shade. Okay, and we can create these versions of every single color in our color wheel and use them to create like deeper colors or lighter colors and different variations of a same color. Okay, next we learn about some color schemes. So first is the complementary color scheme. So complementary colors are those which sit opposite each other on the color wheel. So like red and green are complementary, yellow and purple are complementary, orange and blue. And then if we talk about tertiary colors, so we say that yellow, orange and blue, purple are complementary colors. If we use them together in a composition, they create contrast and interest. If I create a flower, okay, which is yellow, so it's just like a normal yellow flower. Okay, and then I use purple with it. Okay, so I use purple for the center, and then I use purple for some berries around it. And then I'm using a tone, like a shade of purple, by adding black to create these stems. And then again I'm using purple for the leaves. So this composition has enough contrast and it looks very, interesting because it has some contrast as we are using complementary colors. So we can use different sets of complementary colors to create contrast and interesting compositions. Okay, Next is analogous color scheme. So analogous colors sit beside each other on the color wheel. So we can take a combination like red, orange and orange to create a composition. So let's take that. I am taking red to create a flower. Okay, let's create a sideways looking flower. Okay, so red, and then one would be orange. Okay, so this will be looking this way. So another orange flower, and then one will be red orange. So I'll make some red in this orange, some red orange buds. Okay, so these kind of color schemes with analogous colors, they are very they seem very harmonious, and they sit very smoothly and calmly next to each other. They don't create a lot of contrast. They are very much subtle. So it depends on the kind of piece that you are looking to create. If you want to create something very subtle and the colors that are harmonious to each other, you can use this color scheme, analogous color scheme. And then there is monochrome, which is single color. So let's say if we use pink. Okay, so I am using pink, and then we can use different, so pink is our hue, right? And when we can use different tints and tones and shades of pink to create this composition. So let's say I am creating this rose of the, I'm using pure hue here. So there's a color called rose in my palette. I'm using that. So it's just basic flower. Okay, all right. So a flower, and then I'm gonna mix some maybe white. Okay, to create leaves here. Okay, so this is the tint of this color, and next I'm gonna add some black to it. To create darker version of the same color, and then adding more leaves to this composition. Okay, maybe some berries here. So I I love adding berries to my compositions. So this may be a cluster here. Okay, and then we'll use even the darker color to add the stems. Okay, so this was the basic color theory that you need to know before trying to mix your colors. Okay, and that's it. These are the color theory basics that I think every watercolor artist should know. I'd encourage you to create your own color wheel and mixing chart and keep it beside you while you paint, and it will become one of the most useful references in your watercolor journey. Before we wrap up, if you'd like to dive deeper into watercolor basics, my ebook Watercolor Made Simple, so I've used this as a reference today. So this is my ebook. It's a great next step for you. It covers all the essential techniques, tools, supplies, and techniques like watercolor mixing, brush control, water consistency, and other foundational skills that will help you build confidence with every painting. And I will add the link in the description. Thank you so much for painting with me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for new watercolor tutorials. I'll see you in the next one. Happy painting. Ooh, and before we go, please drop your suggestions in the comments. What you'd like to learn next. I read every one of them and your idea might be featured in the upcoming tutorial. Thank you so much guys. Happy painting. Bye.